Welcome to episode 2 of Behind the Muscles. Theseus! Woohoo! Theseus is a long story that kind of has 3 different elements to it. So hopefully this will sort of help separate those guys into a nice whole. Okay. Start 1, we actually start out with this idea of a father quest. Later on, when we do the hero's journey, we'll look at the different ways that a father quest kind of has a universal meaning of the quest for like purpose, for how you are going to manifest yourself in the world, not related to just dads. But here it definitely is this young man on the lookout for I'm going to seek out my dad, this awesome guy. And on my way to do that, I am supremely confident and I'm going to test myself as much as possible. Yay! One of the ways that Theseus is a hero, besides just doing the feats of strength, is he falls into this category of founder hero. And we actually have our own set of founder heroes. I think I've mentioned this before in class, but the way that we have kind of President's Day to celebrate, for sure, George Washington, and then also Lincoln. And then if you think about Mount Rushmore, right, that is a huge monument / celebration to people that at one point or another we have decided are like these pinnacles of our political society. So it's kind of interesting when you look at various institutions or states or groups that often there's a bit of hero worship around the person who is responsible for inspiring or creating a brand new thing. It's kind of cute. Okay, this used to be a better joke when I think, rather than it being something that students got to do on their own time, whole classes got dismissed to go walk the labyrinth when it was around. But here's the deal. A labyrinth isn't just a cool maze. The reason that you see a lot of these in kind of garden parks, or you'll see a lot in the floors of churches or abbeys, is because the labyrinth is actually a journeying within and then a journeying back out again, right? So the really phenomenal piece of this is not, hey, this guy is excited enough / this guy is brave enough to go in and fight this scary thing. It is like venturing deep into the unknown and venturing deep into the center of the unknown and then conquering the thing that is there. I love also that the thing that's there in this particular labyrinth is a half man, half beast. If you remember back to the Greeks being really interested in duality, being really interested in like the conflict between the best and the worst parts of humanity, of being human and all that beautiful nature, but then at the same time having these huge flaws that are really destructive. Of course it is that Theseus centers into the middle and then kills off this beast, this fear, this thing that is weighing over humanity. It's kind of a neat metaphor. It's not even kind of a neat metaphor. It's just an awesome metaphor. Okie dokie smoky. Now, the funny thing is, rather than Perseus, who for all intents and purposes returns and is a good guy, so far as we know, Theseus actually falls off a bit. There are several things about his story where we can be a little underwhelmed with who he is. So instead of so we end up with Ariadne, who's just like, oh, sorry, this didn't really work out. We'll see you later. It's unfortunate. Then we also have kind of non-heroic elements. I look at the thing with Perseus, and we're just given a little snippet of it, but it's a way almost that humanizes somebody who is otherwise relatively perfect. He's also kind of the straight man to the goofball of Perithous. You know, if you think of comedy duos, they're maybe the other guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, who seem to be relatively good friends in real life, which cracks me up. Part two, I think about this a lot if we look at the How Does a Hero Retire? The second half of his life is also the time when he's not necessarily needed, / not interested in coming back and actually living out the political kingship that his father was in. He's not interested in ruling. He still kind of is that kid that wants to continue being a hero. And so with just sort of hanging out and being not having anything else to really to challenge him, he falls into this pattern of something that's relatively destructive. And it makes me think specifically of Michael Jordan, because, I mean, he's this arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And yet, right after he retired, I think he still does actually, falls into he doesn't fall into, but he's a huge gambler, like a massive gambler, and also not super great at running his own basketball organization, right? That the things that made these heroes or make these heroes really good at accomplishing the thing that they do don't necessarily translate into traits that do well without something to engage them. And so you end up with people who thrive on competition when they're physically not able to be part of that competition. They, number one, seemingly inevitably take up golf. But number two, there's a lot of gambling because of that high risk, high reward scenario that they can no longer get physically. Anyway, I think it's interesting. All right, where did the Minotaur come from? How do you end up with a half beast, half human person? Well, there is this backstory about Minos being like, I'll do anything. And then being like, but I meant I'll do almost anything. Like, it probably won't notice if I don't give it back. And Poseidon, being crabby but also keeping score, was not enthused about it. Then we get to another one of our favorite themes of, let's blame it on the ladies. So, of course, in another version, or in some of the second parts of those versions, his wife is like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful bull that I've ever seen. And then, decides that there must be some way that she can consummate that love with the bull. Yikes. Okay. And then you end up with a half bull baby, right? Of course, makes total sense. Another reason could be, again, that, not enough flattery of the gods. And then bad things happen. Okay, this next little set of things is my favorite, and I will continue showing it to students in mythology, regardless of whether or not they think that it's funny. So just bear with me, because I love it. I'm not going to read them. No, I am going to read them. No, I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try really hard. Okay. All right. So the backstory to this is it's from a now defunct web cartoon. And it's looking at, well, first of all, we meet basically this guy. We meet the Minotaur before he's gotten killed off by Theseus. Actually, Theseus doesn't really enter into this picture at all. So he's just amusing himself, first of all. Oh, DFAC is Double Fine Action Comics. Again, they're not making them anymore. It makes me super sad. They always have a funky little thing up here that you can ignore, or that don't have anything to do with this little thing. Look, it's our Minotaur. And look, there he has a Minotaur friend. I'm dying. Oh, right. I also forgot that it's the Minotaur recreating the labyrinth, not in the labyrinth right now. Sorry about that. Okay, let me go to the next thing. But no, okay. Adorable. Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so then the backstory to this part is out of that skull igloo, he ran into the knight, which is a recurring character in this Double Fine Action Comics things, and apparently made a present of a little skull. Then we have a cute flashback to the Minotaur's time in the labyrinth. Nope, just not yet. Just sorry. He shows off his art project to to the knight. Okay, and now we have a flashback to the labyrinth. Isn't that adorable? I love it. He has mixed feelings on the labyrinth, he'll be honest. Okie dokie, Smokey. I think they have fixed the Edith. Used to be that the older versions of the Edith have a guy with a head and then a horse body or a bull body, which we know is incorrect. But these are just other beautiful depictions of the Minotaur as he should be seen. If you are interested in more of the details, these are ripped directly from Theseus, just so you can see where some of those little bits of business go. And then this also includes some of the information about Daedalus and Icarus, but also Daedalus being the builder of the labyrinth, as well as potentially the builder of the machine for Pasiphae to get impregnated by the beautiful bull. That has been episode 2 of Behind the Muscles, Theseus. Thanks for watching. Bye!